Waiting on YouTube, then I'm go ahead and record. Waiting on YouTube, then echo.
God created this queen, elegance, power on the scene. Restart, rebuild, rise. Restart, rebuild, rise. Restart, rebuild, rise. Watch a real queen come alive. I'm the prize. You're the prize. We're the prize. Restart, rebuild, rise. Let's go. One more time. God created this queen, elegance, power on the scene. Restart, rebuild, rise. Restart, rebuild, rise. Restart, rebuild, rise. Watch a real queen come alive. I'm the prize. You're the prize. We're the prize. Restart, rebuild, rise.
I can't hear you, Sam.
Back to the live. Can you hear me? All right,
can hear you
great,
now.
great. Welcome, all of my beautiful queen sisters. Y'all go ahead and come on in and invite other queens. The link will be in the chat. Are you hearing that long echo? Give me a minute. Maybe I need to turn it down because I'm hearing myself echo and it's like I'm waiting until it finishes. Huh. Is that what it is? Maybe I need to turn it down. Hear myself echo and it's like I'm waiting until it finishes. Okay, testing. Are they gonna be able to hear me? Am I muted on that? I need you to put the link in the chat, please. Put the link in the chat. Invite your other beautiful queen sisters to this live. All right. If y'all can hear me clearly, drop a 1 in the comment. Drop a 1 in the comment if you can hear me. All right. We want to go ahead and get started. My name is Samantha Hill, and I proudly represent the state of Mississippi as Miss Mississippi Corporate America. And this, y'all, is more than just a live, okay? This is the 100 Queens who restarted, rebuilt, and rise movement. All right, this platform was created to highlight powerful women like yourself who are not just building businesses, but transforming lives, shifting mindsets, and creating real impact on their community. And tonight, we're talking about something that it can actually save a life, okay? So before we get started, let's do a little housekeeping. So go ahead and grab your pen and your paper. Okay, you're gonna want to take notes, take copious notes. Okay, this is a great time to invite your friends. So send out that link and it should be in the chat. All right, send out that link and invite other queen sisters. Okay, so I want you to also save all your questions until the end. Okay, save all of your questions until the end. Because guess what we're going to do? We're going to have a special Q&A session to get all of your questions answered. And listen, I don't want you to just be watching, okay? I want you to engage. Those that know me know that I love engagement, right? All right. So before we even get started, I want to ask everybody something. All right, let me ask you something. If someone needed CPR right now, this moment, at this second, would you know what to do? Put it in the comments. Would you know what to do if someone needed CPR right now? No, exactly. Exactly. That's why tonight matters. It matters. Okay. So let
Which one?
me
These too hard.
our queen for the night, who is walking in her purpose. Tonight, we are joined by a CPR specialist. She is the founder of Rescue Institution and a woman who is equipping people with life-saving skills. She's not just teaching a service, she's preparing people for moments that can change everything. I introduced to some of you and Miss Lisa Phillips. Welcome, Queen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all give me
Thank you
some
so
fire
much.
emojis in the chat. Give me the fire emojis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all. Continue to invite your friends and family members, everybody. Invite them to this call. You definitely want them to get this information. I mean, it's just mind blowing. We've been kind of talking back and forth. So I'm really excited about learning about how we can save lives, each and every one of us. So if you're excited to learn something that could save a life, drop a fire emoji in the comment right now. Drop it, drop it, drop it. All right. Okay, Lisa. You ready, girl?
I stay ready, so I never have to get ready. How about that?
Okay, all right. She stay ready, so she never have to get ready. All right, so she is
I'm wrong with
ready.
this.
All right, I see we still got people coming in. Make sure you mute yourselves, okay? Make sure you are muting yourself. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the live, okay? So our first question today for Queen Lisa is, I want to know what made you step into this type of work as a CPR. Was there a moment in your life where this became personal for you?
Well, to give you a little backstory, this was back in the early, what's they say, 99 in the 2000s. And it was during the time when CPR was just like, it was 15 chest compressions to 2 breath, and it was across the board, adult, infant, and children. So it was a situation where it was in my apartment complex, actually, and a baby stopped breathing. I'm talking about, and at the time, I didn't know that it was a child, it was an infant. So I was talking to my neighbor, and all of a sudden I hear somebody say, "Hey, do anybody know CPR?" Well, it was during a time where people were afraid to even assist with CPR because they were their fear of being sued. So I didn't move at first. And then the lady said, "Hey, do anybody know CPR?" A baby had stopped breathing. So I immediately went into action. And so the first thing I teach my trainees is always, always, always know your surroundings. You have to protect yourself first. So of course, I'm observing, I'm trying to see what's going on. Fast forwarded, I get into the house. The thing that got to me was the fact that the dad was holding the baby and the baby was lifeless. And the security guard was in the house. So I immediately say, "Hey, go call 911," because no one had called 911. So that's when I began to uh, do my expertise, the things that I had been trained in CPR. When I tell y'all, I was so scared. But nevertheless, I did, what I was trained to do. By the time I think I got round to like the third set of chest compressions, because that, like I said again, it was like 15 chest compressions to 2 breaths. So by the time I got to like the third round of chest compressions, that's when the paramedics they came in. Sadly to say, they did get a heart rhythm on the baby, but sad to say the baby didn't make it. Well, what really sparked the fact that I really wanted to do CPR is that I was being treated as a criminal, because I was the one was trying to save a life, but I was actually being treated like I was the one that ended the life. Because when the police came on the scene, they were asking all these questions like, "Did anybody do CPR?" And the lady was like, "That lady right there, she was trying to help that baby." And I was being interrogated by the police like, you got your CPR card? Let me see your license. They actually ran my license to see did I have any warrants. But it sparked something in me that day. It really sparked something in me that day. I said, you know what? I believe that, and even in the situation, people were afraid. So I made it my mission. I said, I want to learn how to save a life, and I want to perfect how to save a life. I started my business. I started back in 2015. So I've been doing this for about 11 years now. And like I said, I have faithful trainees that come back to me every 2 years. And every year I want to be able to, or every 2 years, I want to be able to perfect my craft. So that really that's the background of what started me wanting to know and to do CPR, because I want people to know that, you don't have to be afraid to use, because it's just not for your job. You can be called to any situation, and you just may be the one that saved a life.
That touches you guys, drop a heart in the comment. I mean, that is really, really heartfelt. And that is a beautiful reason for you to wanted to, get your craft to another level every single year. I mean, daily, because you never know what's going to happen when somebody needs it. Okay. It was just
Absolutely.
out of the blue for you. Okay.
Right.
So I want to take us into another real moment that you might can give us example, because you shared so many on with me. So
yeah.
Can you share another time when you had to just step in and assist in saving a life, and how it felt? What this particular thing might have seemed like a normal day, and I just want to, because I can only imagine doing that. I would be afraid to step in because I don't know CPR. But, I just want to know how you felt. Can you give us another story to share?
Well, let me say, this particular story, and not only do I teach CPR, I want everybody to know I teach first aid. So, the behind the scenes, or the back end of CPR, is first aid.
First aid.
Knowing
Okay.
what to do, especially like if someone is choking, someone has an allergic reaction, someone faints, someone who has a seizure. So it's a lot that goes with CPR. First aid ties in with CPR.
Hey,
So
I
it
didn't
was a
even know it was a
time where,
difference. That's awesome. I'm
see?
learning. You're teaching me, girl. You're teaching me.
So yeah, it's a, like I say, it's a lot that goes in with CPR, not just with chest compressions, not just with mouth to mouth. You got to know what to do in a crisis. And that's one of the things I am so passionate about, is teaching my trainees what to do in a crisis matter. And prime example, me and a friend of mine, we had went to IHOP, and everybody know I love going out. I like to go out and eat. But yes, so we were in IHOP, and this was some years ago, and we was in IHOP and minding our business, and all of a sudden I saw this couple. It was a husband and a wife and a little girl. They came in. We saw them when they came in, and obviously the young girl had ordered some cheese sticks, some mozzarella sticks, and so all of a sudden I heard this cough, and just like I teach my trainees, if a person is coughing, they're getting air. But the telltale signs of a person who's choking, they're gonna grab for their throat because they can't breathe. So, but I start hearing this like very rough cough, like like you're trying to get something up. So I didn't move, because again, I always teach my trainees, your life matters first. You always have to assess your scene. So I didn't move immediately, and I noticed that the young girl was coughing, and mom was like, "Come on, baby, cough it up, cough it up, cough it up." And she was trying to be calm, but I could tell mama was about to panic. And so my friend kept saying, "Lisa, you know it, you know CPR. Go over there, help her." I said, "No, no, no, no. I said, I want to be sure before I don't want to start grabbing nobody, start picking them up and, doing the Heimlich. So what made me really go over there was, you have people who, and I love our seasoned loved ones. I really do, from the young and young at heart. But, one of the things I also teach my trainees is misnomers. Like, how they tell you when you're choking to raise your arms up. You remember that when they tell you back in the day, raise your arms up. Well, that doesn't stop the choking. It doesn't stop it. So one of the ladies kept telling the lady to tell her daughter to raise her arms up, raise her arms up. Well, she's choking. I mean, that's not going to help her. So I politely got up and I went over there and I said, ma'am, I introduced myself. And I said, ma'am, I am certified in CPR and first aid. I said, as long as she's coughing, she's getting air. And the minute before I could even get it out good, she coughed it up. It was a big ball of cheese. So even in a crisis, you have to learn how to, one, stay calm, and two, you got to learn how to know when to take control. And that's one of the things I do teach my trainees is stay calm in a matter, and then you learn how to take control. You have, because if just say, Samantha, if we were out and if somebody passes out and they're unresponsive, if you hollering and I'm hollering and everybody's hollering, then who's helping the person that's not breathing? You see what I'm saying? So we all have to stay calm in a situation like that, but we have to learn how to take control.
Makes a whole lot of sense. Not look, guys, if that don't wake you up, I don't know what will. So I want y'all to drop a wow in the comments, because that was mind-blowing. That was amazing. And I see how important it is to make sure that we stay calm and assess the situation, right? All right. Okay, before we go on to my next question, Queens, I want to do something special. I want to give away a free copy of my book. Okay, it's called Shift Your Confidence, a 15 Journey to Fire Negative Self-Talk. Okay, so what we're gonna do, moderator is gonna share his screen. He's gonna get everybody's name that's on the call, and we're gonna do spin the wheel. All right, you ready, moderator? We're gonna spin the wheel. So while we're waiting on the moderator, I want you guys to drop confidence in the comments. Drop confidence in the comment, and we're gonna choose a winner with the wheel spinning. All right, moderator, are you ready? You got everybody's name? Share your screen. Right, give them a minute to put everybody in. So I am truly, I'm already touched on all the things that you have said, everything you have addressed. Those are some amazing examples. Those are amazing examples, and I thank you for that. And I'm excited to hear even more. But we have to take a couple of breaks, and so I'm going to give away a copy of my book, Shift Your Confidence: A 15-Day Journey to Fire Those Negative Self-Talks. Okay, so we're going to start with that first. Y'all ready? Got the drum roll going? Okay, spin. Woo, who's gonna win? All right. iPhone. I don't even know who iPhone is. Show your face. Let us know who you are. So what we want you to do is put your how you don't send it in the chat, but put it to the moderator. It's going to say, moderator, send a message, send your address, and we will make sure we get you a copy of Shift Your Confidence, a 15 Journey to Firing Those Negative Self-Talks, okay? Because that's what everything is all about. Any business that you get into, your lifestyle, everything, you want to shift your confidence. That is super important, your whole mindset, okay? All right. So moderator say, who is iPhone? They're going to send you a message. Send a private message to the moderator iPhone. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. I know a lot of us sometimes when we talk about CPR, sometimes it can be kind of, we get kind of nervous, and some of us don't even want people to know that we don't know CPR. But I do appreciate you coming on. Make sure you send your address and everything so I can send you a free copy of my Shift Your Confidence book. Okay. All right, so let's move on. We have a winner. So, Lisa, my next question to you is, what's the biggest mistake people make in an emergency when somebody needs CPR? I kind of already know it's panicking. I know that's one of them, ain't it? So, what is the biggest mistake? Is that the biggest mistake that people make in an emergency when somebody needs CPR?
Yes, but then also too, just like I tell my trainees, when in doubt, call 911.
Right.
I don't ever want anyone to feel like they're forced to do CPR, if that makes sense. But for me, like I said, I'm always in ready mode. And the thing is that majority of my encounters have not been like in the workplace. I have may have
Wow.
had some scares, but it's never been in my actual workplace. So that, to me, that's the biggest mistake you can ever make, is not doing anything, because you have to look at it. What if it's your loved one? Some of us
Exactly.
are parents and grandparents. We still have our moms, our fathers, our uncles, our cousins. You have to put yourself in a position where, what if that was my loved one? I would want somebody
Right,
to,
right.
if my loved one passed out right now, my loved one was at a gas station, if my loved one was in Walmart, I would want somebody to step in and help them. So to me, I feel like the biggest thing that you cannot do is not doing anything. And I know sometimes the fear of, what if I mess up? Can't mess up if you delegate. You can't mess up if you take an action, if you call 911.
Do
So
something.
do something, do
Right,
something, because a life depends on it. A life
right,
depends
right.
on it.
And see, y'all, this is exactly why we need this conversation. I want y'all to drop a one in the chat if you, in the comments, I guess you can say, if you are learning something new. I'm putting one. I am learning so much. And I love that we are having this conversation. Okay. So the next question I want to ask you, for someone that's watching right now. Okay, you got people watching you right now. They're gonna hear this on the replay. They might see it on YouTube, TikTok, or whatever. Okay, so what is the first thing they should do in an emergency situation? Okay, what is the first thing? So, like right now, we don't know what to do, or I mean, what's the first thing? What's the first thing I should do if
The first thing
I'm
I
stuck in an emergency situation?
the first thing I tell my trainees is check your scene. That's the first thing you want to do, because think about it, Samantha. You've flown before. You've been in an airplane before, and
Mm-hmm.
that flight attendant goes over the rules, goes over the regulations, goes over the steps. So if the plane go to a certain altitude, and those things from the little oxygen things from the ceiling drop down, what do they tell you to do? Put it on you first, right?
On you first.
So you have to look at it that way. In order to save a life, you have to make sure yours is intact. So I tell my trainees, always, 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 in an emergency situation, always check your scene, because you just never know what happened, what transpired. So always be in a position to check your scene.
All right. Now that's a note to definitely take. Okay. So if y'all taking notes like I am right here, I got my pen and my paper. I'm taking notes. I want y'all to drop a 2 in the chat. Drop a 2 in the chat. Let me know if you are writing this down, because I am. All right. And I know a lot of people are afraid to step in and do what they, do something, like you said, that fear sets in. So what would you say to someone that is not trained and who is scared they might do something wrong, or they might have just had, let's say they done had one class on CPR and they still a little nervous about it? What would you say to someone who is scared they might do something wrong?
First of all, call 911. Can't go wrong with that. Because think about it, we're not a one-man show. We're not Bill Ford Tough. You see what I'm saying? We all have had some type of fear in one, way, shape, form, or fashion. So when in doubt, call 911. Because I mean, think about it. We're in that fight or flight mode. The adrenaline is high, and of course, let me say it like this. We have what we call the Good Samaritan law. And the Good Samaritan law protects us. It protects us even as non-bystanders who is trained in CPR, or non-medical who is trained in CPR, or medical who is trained in CPR. The Good Samaritan, it protects us as long as we stay within our scope of training. Now, we're not MacGyver. We're not cutting and causing no trachs and starting no IVs, and we're not doing any of that. As long as we're staying in our scope of training, we are fine. We are covered by the Good Samaritan law. So I say to anyone who is still nervous, they may have had one session of CPR. When in doubt, call 911.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. Okay. So I know I felt that fear before. So if y'all have felt that fear, just drop a me in the comments. Drop a me in the comments. Let's not be, afraid. I mean, we got to get rid of the fear. Okay. But that was a good tip that she gave us. She said, all you got to do is dial 911. Okay. And I feel like my husband is the king of that, because we can be riding down the road and he think he saw a light, well, car down and went down in the ditch. He called 911. He pulling over. You got to do something, okay? Because you never know, the smallest thing could help save a life.
And let me say this, Samantha. When you call 911, the beauty of 911 is that they'll walk you through. If you don't know how to do chest compressions, they will walk you through it. If you don't know what to do, if someone has stop breathing, or someone is bleeding out like real bad, the beauty of 911, the dispatcher, they are trained in those areas, and they will walk you through it step by step. They'll walk you through it.
That's amazing. That is amazing, because they're trained to do that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. I'm loving it. If y'all loving all of this conversation, period, y'all put me some more fire emojis in the chat. I know y'all gotta be loving it, because I am totally loving it. And the next thing that we're gonna do, I do still have a couple of questions for you. Okay. So, but before we go to those questions, what I want to do, I want to Jay said me. Cassandra said me. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that fear does set in. So we definitely want to make sure, like she said, that was a good tip, is to dial 911 and allow them to walk you through what you need to do. All right. Because in order to save a life, we got to be fearless. We have grandbabies. We have children. We have, strangers that come in our life every day. Is somebody's mother, father, uncle, something. So we definitely need to try to control that fear and do like she said, dial 911 and let them direct you through the process. But we also want to learn CPR. So we're going to get into that a little later. But before we get into that, Lisa has decided that she wants to give away her CPR ebook. Resource ebook. Okay. So if y'all interested in winning, drop CPR winning. Yeah, this free ebook, drop CPR in the comments. All right. We're going to choose another winner. We have a couple of more people that has came on in, and thank you for y'all coming in. CPR. Cassandra says CPR. Jay says CPR. Okay, moderator, I want you to share your screen. Put everybody that's in here that's excited to win this free book. You got everybody in there? We got Jay, You need, okay, it's not showing on the okay, I see it, I see it, I see it. All right. Good, good, good. Y'all ready? Drum roll. Go. Yes, yes. The winner is Jay. Hey, yes, yes. Congratulations, congratulations. The moderator is gonna put the link to her free to her ebook, and I believe it's a code, so you can get it for free. He's gonna private message it to you. All right. Sounds good. All right. I hope you are excited, Jay, that you just won this amazing book. I was hoping I was gonna win it. I was hoping it was gonna be on my name gonna be on there, but it wasn't. But that's okay because I'm gonna purchase that. I'm gonna get that book. Okay. So let's get back to these questions. Y'all know that this is called the 100 Queens who restart, rebuild, and rise. So, Lisa, I want to know, how does what you do connect with restarting, rebuilding, and rising?
Well, let me just say this. This is a passion of mine. And I know this is something that God had gave me like years ago, like I said, back in 2000. So this has always been a passion of mine. I feel like it ties in because, we hear about hair and nails and clothes, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, for someone to, I haven't always been a people person. So for me to step out of my norm, uh, and to introduce, CPR training, um, to me, is I'm not saying that people are not doing it, but it's very few. So to me, this is a place where this is a platform where you can restart, rebuild, and rise. Um, like I said, this has always been a passion of mine. I love. Haven't always been a people person, but I love helping people. I can help people, behind the scenes. Uh, that's how I am. And Samantha, you've been knowing me for quite some time. I will give the shirt off my back. So, and you always tell me, don't give from your cup, give from your overflow. And I hear that all the time. So, but this has, like I said, it has always been a passion of mine to teach, to reach, to build people, to give them the confidence, knowing that, in any emergency or situation, whether someone is having anaphylactic shock or whether somebody's choking, you are confident to know that, I've been trained by the best. I've been trained by Lisa Rescue Institute. I've been trained by someone that is passionate about what she do. She loves people. First and foremost, I love the Lord. I love his people. And like I said, I want people to be confident in what they do, especially when it comes to CPR.
We definitely got to get out of our discomfort and get confident. What's the old saying? Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about what you do, you don't only just teach people who want to be certified and wants to, they want to be, on the same level as you or move higher. This CPR and what was the other one you called it?
First aid.
First aid. Yeah, first aid and CPR is something that we all need to know. Everybody needs to know. Okay. So I would like you to maybe give us a couple of tips where ordinary person, like if I ran into somebody that was hurting or need help, what are some tips? I know I'm going to dial 911, but sometimes you got to do something. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have any tips that you can give us?
Well, of course, you're helping if you've been put in a situation like that, you want to always, especially if the person is very oriented, they're aware. You always want to introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Samantha. Hi, my name is Lisa. I am CPR certified. I'm trained in CPR. I'm trained in first aid. Is it anything, you want to ask them what's going on with them if they are able to speak. One of the things you also may want to look at to see if they got some type of bracelet. That's another thing. You may want to see if they have they may be a diabetic, they may have seizures. You may want to look to see if they have any type of necklace or bracelet or pendant or things like that. Also, you delegate. You also want to delegate. If you feel like you're not confident in what you're doing, I always say, excuse me, ma'am, hey, sir, come here, can you please help me? Or you see people just standing there, say, hey, what's your name? Hey, go call 911. Hey, go with him and wait for 911, wait for the ambulance to come. You can delegate. There are tips and things that you can do in order to help save a life.
And I'm bleeding like crazy. What can an ordinary person do? Because the reason I'm asking this question is because we watch a lot of television, right?
Of course.
We watch a lot of television. And sometimes when I'm watching TV, I be like, is that the right way to do that? Because sometimes they put in the tourniquet on the cut. Sometimes they putting it above the cut, or they just doing all types of things. So take that for example and tell me, what am I supposed to do? Even if I'm bleeding and nobody's around, what should I do to help myself?
First of all, you want to stop the bleeding. You want to apply pressure. You want to find something like a towel, something clean, a towel, a shirt, something where you can apply pressure. That's the first thing. If you can find, and I hate to say it like this, but when we was talking about earlier, when you want to, like, you seen them in the movies when they were shooting up, you want to take something and take a tourniquet, take a belt, find a cord. You can find things, especially if you're at home or even if you're in the marketplace. Find something that you can tie around with. If you have pressure on that wound, find something that you can tie around it so it can bear down, so it can stop the bleeding. The one thing you don't want to do is take off that first layer. Just say if you have a towel on a bad cut, you don't want to take that towel off, even though it may be soaking in blood. You don't ever want to take that towel off. Why? Because that towel has already formed a barrier. You may not know it or not, but it's already formed a scab. It's formed a barrier. So when you remove that towel, what it does, it start back bleeding again. It may start bleeding out worse. So always, if you have, if you can find another towel, if you can find bandages, whatever, always apply more. Never take off the first layer, just apply more so you can apply more pressure.
That's a great tip. Thank you for helping me on that one, because I'm like, what do I do? Okay. So how does it feel knowing that people that you train can just go out there and save a life? Do they ever share their stories with you?
Yes. I've had a few that would come back and say, thank you for the training. I'm not just on TikTok. I'm not just on LinkedIn. I'm not just on Instagram, but I have a app that I use called Thumbtack. And that's where, it's kind of sort of like Angie's Place. And like if people want services, I have my CPR business on Thumbtack. And I really do have high reviews on Thumbtack. People talk about the training, they talk about the experience, because I try to teach in a way where you're just not just watching a video, but I try to put real life stories behind, and they are real life stories. I try to put real life stories behind the especially the situation or what we're talking about, the matter at hand. I try to put those real life stories that can tie into CPR, that can tie into first aid. So that way they can be like, oh, I can do that. So, and majority of the people, majority of my trainees are nurses. They are phlebotomists. They are medical assistants. But I would love to train people who are non-medical, and I've had quite a few who are non-medical that I have trained. I like doing group settings. I like doing individual settings. I am flexible. I am mobile. So, I mean, just call me. Hit me up.
All right now. Powerful, powerful, powerful. I love it. I love it. So I want y'all to drop a fire emoji if you feel that. If y'all feeling it like I'm feeling it, I know you're going to drop those fire emojis because this is hot, hot, hot. Okay. So, Lisa, for those that are watching and want to learn CPR or get to training, even if they don't want to be certified, but they want to be prepared, how can they connect with you? I see that some of your links and stuff are in the chat, so y'all check that out. But she did say something about another
It's
site.
called Alignable. Not Alignable. I'm sorry, Thumbtack. It's called. I am on Alignable, but it's called Thumbtack.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's
And
called
also,
Thumbtack.
y'all can click, y'all make sure y'all follow her on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Follow her. You can always shoot her a message. And I'm sure that she will get back with you for whatever your needs are as far as CPR and first aid is concerned. You're also a phlebotomist, right?
I'm a phlebotomist by trade. I am,
Okay.
and I also used to teach phlebotomy. I actually started teaching medical assistant, and it just transitioned on into phlebotomy. I've been doing that for I've been in phlebotomy since what 2010. So
Okay.
yeah.
Wow, girl, you've been in the industry a long time, and that shows how you love and care about people. Because when you continue to carry it to another level, that lets you know the love and for people that you have. All right, so how I do want to share before we go into our Q&A. I also want to share how to join this movement, this 100 queens who restart, rebuild, and rise. Okay, so to every queen that's watching, if you feel called to share your story like Lisa has done, if you are restarting, rebuilding, and of course rising, I want, because we all do, okay? There comes a time in our life happens, we take a pause, okay? Even if you want to get out of that pause, it's time. We don't want to get stuck, okay, in the pause. So, and you want to be on this platform to share your story, because that's what it's all about. It's about all the Queen sisters. It's about restarting, rebuilding, rising as queens, okay? I want you to go to shiftyourconfidence.com. Moderator, put that in the chat. Fill out that intake form, and we will get together, talk about it, and make sure you get featured in the 100 Queens Who Restart, Rebuild, and Rise series. Okay. All right, Queen. This is your moment now. All right. It's your moment. Any questions? Any questions? You can raise your hand and you simply click on react, and you can raise your hand from there, or you can put your questions in the chat. Okay. Either way, any questions? All right. Let's see. Oh, Cassandra says she loved the teaching. I know, girl. I'm loving it too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have done an amazing job. Any questions, guys, before we end this hey, this amazing call, this amazing conversation. All right. So if y'all need to hear how to get in touch with her again, make sure you check what am I trying to say? Check
All of
text.
my links are in the chat. They're in the
Yeah,
chat.
all of them are
Like I
in the
said, for
chat.
those of you
Okay.
that know me, you have my phone number. You can always call. You can always text me. For those of you that have my number, if you don't have my number, like I said, you can look me up on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I am mobile. I will come to you. And if you want to come to me, I have beautiful pastors that would allow me to use their church, use our church to do our training. I have trained a few people at our church. So just all you gotta do is let me know. And like I said, I will definitely make you confident in CPR and first aid.
Okay, I love that. That's really something to think about. You can even set this up at different churches. If you want to take it to your church, make sure you hit her up on one of her platforms. I did see a couple of questions. I'll make sure you pick up Lisa's ebook. All right, it's Beacons at AI/CPR_rescue1. Okay. So make sure y'all pick up that ebook. Make sure you reach out to her, set up whatever type of classes that you want to have. Oh, Cassandra asks, how much is a class? I guess it depends.
It all depends. If you're a first time training, in my classes, it technically is supposed to be an 8-hour class. However, I have a beautiful coordinator who told me I can cut it in half. So because I'm looking at, I'm trying to save, you time. But first time training is 4 hours. And that is $100. And I try to keep my prices within a minimum, unaffordable. If you need a renewal for my renewal training, it's $85. And think about it. Once you get certified, you get your certificate in CPR, you don't have to see me for 2 years. So you won't see me for the next 2 years. So it's renewable every 2 years.
Okay, that's amazing. That sounds good. Does that answer your question, Miss Cassandra? Hope that answers your question. I'm super excited. Jay has a question. Okay. Oh, I see she has a hand raised. Okay. You unmuted. Go ahead with your question.
That's Jacob. What's up, Jacob?
Jacob. Hi, Jacob.
I think you probably already answered the question for me. I was about to ask you, how long do the classes last?
Again, like I said, for first time training, instead of an 8-hour, I do 4 hours, but it's very impactful. It's very, very informative for the first time training. And then for the renewal is just, it all depends on your confidence level. If you want to do the renewal is an hour, and I just pretty much go over like just some things that you may need, like some work in, maybe chest compressions, or how to apply pressure. What do I do if a person gets stung by a bee? What do I do if a person start having seizures? If it's just some things that you want to highlight in the renewal, I'll be glad to assist you even in that. And I normally do that for about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay. So it's just like a 1 day trial for 4 hours? Or is it like,
yes, once you do it the first time for 4 hours, you won't come back to me for another 2 years. So after 2 years, you come back to me and we just do the renewal.
Oh, we learned a lot in 4 hours then.
I know.
And you will be certified and you'll be comfortable with attacking any emergency situations. I think that's amazing. I really think you ought to create a community so we can always ask 1,000 questions. Yeah, but I think this is an amazing thing. And Cassandra said, yes, awesome. Thanks. Any other question? Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, Jay. I see Journey in the house. I see Apostle Dr. Tina is in the house.
Pastor, yay!
Welcome, y'all. Thank you for coming. And today wasn't just about CPR. It was about being prepared, guys. It's about being prepared because life will happen. We know life would happen. But this queen right here, Queen Lisa, she doesn't panic. She prepares and she gets you prepared. All right. So it's all about restart, rebuild, and rise. And I'll see you next week with another powerful queen. Thank you so much, Lisa. All right. Bye, everybody. Bless and amazing day on purpose. Bye-bye.
Bye.